Tourism is one of the greatest industries in the world. It is the largest employment generator. 11% of world GDP, world foreign exchange, and 1 out of every 9 jobs that is going to be created in the next 20 years will be created in this industry. In India, the Prime Minister is our biggest ambassador. Wherever he goes, he talks about tourism. But the reality is that the tourism numbers are definitely going up, but we still have only 0.6% of our world share, which is not even 1% of over 1 billion people who cross international frontiers. So we have a lot of challenges, and the biggest challenge is the e-visa that has been introduced. It needs to be ironed out. All the snags need to be ironed out because the people who come on e-visas are facing a lot of problems at the airports. There are huge queues, and we want that biometric should be done at every immigration counter. So that is one issue. Second issue on the e-visa is that it is only for 30 days. It should be at least 90 days, and it should be multiple entry, because if a person comes to India and he wants to go to Nepal or Sri Lanka or Bhutan, he can't do it. Now this is what when I was ITO president I demanded and I asked the government to do, and we are hopeful that this would be done. Another very important issue on the e-visa side is that you can only apply 30 days ahead. Now we want that e-visa should be applied at least 1 year or 6 to 9 months ahead, because the leisure traveler always plans very much ahead. Business traveler travels all of a sudden. Then if e-visa is available for tourists, I fail to understand why it's not available for conferences, for medical tourism, and for MICE tourism. So I think that is very important, and that should be done. Another big issue on e-visa is that many a times the payment bank does not respond. So we should have at least 1 or 2 international banks in the payment gateway for the e-visa, so that people get a good response. Now if these obstacles are ironed out, I'm sure tourism to India will grow in a big way. This is as far as the visa is concerned. The second biggest issue is the aviation policy of the country. Today the aviation policy had to be announced, but it was not announced. So we've had draft aviation policies from ages, but we want that this country should have an open sky policy. We should allow charters to come in, and the charters who come in, they should be allowed to carry Indian passengers, and the airport charges for these charters should be less than what the scheduled flights are paying. Not only this, the taxation is very high. The tourism industry is only being given lip service, whereas physical exporters are exempted from service tax. Tour operators, if we earn $1,000, $999 remain in the country. Whereas if you take carpet exporters, they're about 60-70%. They import wool from Australia and New Zealand. Gems and jewelry import 90% of their stuff from overseas. So, I mean, the retention of foreign exchange is the largest in tourism industry. Plus, it is the largest employment generator, being labor intensive. So, I fail to understand why the government is not giving us exemption from service tax. Now, these are some of the basic issues. There are a lot of other issues, but if these 2-3 basic issues are solved, I think we would put our tourism growth on a fast track. And it is very important that the airfares should be, capped, because if you can fix the fare for a taxi driver from airport to a hotel, there is no reason why you cannot fix an airfare. For example, if the direct operating cost of an airline is 4,000 rupees between Delhi and Bombay per seat, then you can give them 100% profit, give them a capping of 8,000 rupees. For low-cost carriers, give a capping of 6,000 rupees. For full-service carriers, give a capping of 8,000 rupees. But you cannot allow them to form a cartel and loot the public. Because what is happening is that they are blackmailing, they are, people are traveling to see dying relatives, people are traveling for cancer treatment, and you suddenly ask them 50,000 rupees. During the Jat agitation, I believe tickets were sold for 100,000 rupees. So, I mean, this kind of high-handedness should be stopped. The government should come up with an aviation policy which is pro-public and not pro-airlines. It should not be cartelization. The 520 rule should also be abolished because, when foreign airlines can come and operate in India, why couldn't Indian airlines, whether they are new or they are old, should be allowed to operate abroad? Now, these are some of the issues which the Prime Minister and the government and the tourism and the aviation minister needs to look at seriously. If these issues are taken care of, I think India is the greatest show on planet Earth. There is no other country which is the birthplace of four great religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism and Jainism. There is no other country. 75% of the world's highest mountain ranges, the Himalayas, are in India. We have the most colorful desert. So I think this is the greatest show on this planet, and yet it is a shame that we have only 0.6% tourists. This country should get 15 to 20 million tourists in a year. That is the minimum we should get. And I think it is going to be our endeavor on behalf of the industry, and nowadays I am the chairman of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, Aviation and Tourism Committee. So we are taking up all these issues so that this country gets the rightful place in the community of nations as far as tourism is concerned. Today it is very unfortunate that outbound tourism is double than that of inbound tourism. Inbound tourism is only 7.8 million, whereas outbound tourism is around 16 million. The reason for this is that it is cheaper for a person to fly to Bangkok or fly to Singapore or fly to Sri Lanka or fly to Malaysia or fly to Dubai and have their meetings and conferences there, because they get a 5-star hotel for about $100 to $90. Whereas here, no 5-star hotel is available less than $200. Plus, there's luxury tax, there's service tax, and there's tax on tax. So we are by overtaxing this industry, and in the city of Delhi, there is tax on the rack rate. You see, not on the actual rate. So all these things are killing tourism. So it is very important that the hotel tariff is rationalized, the airfares are rationalized, and this becomes, we don't outprice ourselves from our neighboring destinations. This is very, very important.